Well, composition for me is a fundamental fact of life. As human beings, we're bilaterally symmetrical. The universe is understood as being both positive and negative. Symmetry is a fundamental organizing tool of life. We live and we die. And composition allows us to structure meaning and ideas in complex ways. The ways we make pattern, the ways we order the city, the way we understand structure in life. Fundamentally, it's an exploration of how to find one's own voice and to express content and meaning in the world through one's work. Having had an incredibly powerful group of people teach as teachers, it took me a while to work out what they taught was whether I had to evaluate whether it was the things I learned, whether they were useful or not, whether they were true or not, whether I could use them or not. That allowed me to in the end, find my own voice within this kind of world. Well, I was very fortunate in having an extraordinary collection of teachers, both at Cornell and Princeton, and then the people I worked for in between. Obviously, the arrival of the so-called Texas Rangers in 1962 at Cornell fundamentally changed the school. I had Colin as a history teacher in Renaissance and Baroque architecture in my sophomore year, Lee Hodgson, John Shaw, Werner Seligman, and so forth, and they basically transformed the school. Some of the themes that occurred in the beginning of the exhibit, in fact, get summarized in some of the last of the projects and the house projects, where I'm exploring a lot of the themes again, but simultaneously. And the making of the Trojan horse has been a lot of fun because it combines all of the themes of profile, figure ground, transparency, objecthood, representation of form, implicit meaning in its situation and context. The final 5 houses, or the 4 houses that I'm exhibiting, have all the same program, the same square footage, the same layering from front to back, the same flat site, but they all are different formal strategies to solving and expressing that problem, starting with the volumetric ones to the one that is most frame-like and scaffold-like, which is actually a lot closer to Frank Lloyd Wright than I would have ever thought. It's been an extraordinary privilege to have been able to study architecture and practice it and teach it. I was inspired by people who made teaching an honorable profession. I'm forever in debt to people like Werner Seligman, etc., whose enthusiasm for teaching inspired a whole generation of people who wanted to teach as well. Probably one of the reasons I came to Syracuse was to work on a program that Werner had set up, but to improve it and change it through my own experience. So it's been an interesting way to explore one's life through one's own work. And I'm forever in debt to my colleagues who have made it an enjoyable experience.